all work,
That's-
up to including that
that's-
175 or anything over that,
Well,
all of it.
right now, the budget is whatever we allocate in that budget, it's, that's a budgetary matter there. That's all we got to work with, so we have to look at that on an annual basis. General counsel, just put some responsibility on the general counsel.
Yes.
That you have to recognize that that's all we're gonna work with, so we're gonna have to be more prudent in allocating work to the attorney. So that's my motion.
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded, and,
Could you say the motion again?
This is a motion. The BNC shall present any and all legal matters requiring attorney research, opinion, or action. So if they blow their nose on my behalf, I want them to call me, okay? To the general counsel for approval. Don't blow your nose unless you got my approval. And an annual report, or periodic or intermediate, whatever we require, because sometimes we don't want to wait till the end of the year. Sometimes, this is a 30-day action item. We've had a couple of those this past year. We want to know right now. So this is not going to be an ongoing open case and the thing to where you can build it out.
What about, say, that water line that they're doing out here? What if all of a sudden we were able to find a federal tie and we wanted the attorneys to do something? Then we have to call a general counsel?
Emergency meeting.
Yeah, emergency meeting. Yeah.
Again, this puts the ball back in your court. In our court here, if we don't want it, then we gotta leave it where it's at, which is the BNC. Right now, we're saying that, we wanna give them some guidance and direction and more input so that we don't come to a session like this and get in a hollering match or,
So
we're working together on this. The whole idea is to try to work together.
So it would just be understood that we'll have more 3-day emergency meetings for legal matters then,
Well,
based on that?
Again,
Maybe.
general counsel has got to be prudent a little
I
bit.
know.
You
I'm not
have
saying
to,
that.
when we get together, we have to know, hey, listen, we already got 2 items, and the BNC is gonna have to help us out there.
Yeah.
They have to say, listen, we already got 2 critical items on the agenda that they're working on, the cost is running this scarce, so we're gonna hold off on this issue.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you, I'm just stating the obvious that there's gonna be more 3-day
Yeah,
emergency.
there's some homework you have to do in order to get it implemented,
Yes.
but we need something to start, someplace, I don't know where. But I think this, I don't know for sure, but I think it would help us regulate at least the caseload of these attorneys, not just give a blank check there, So that's the motion.
Fire people.
we have Gail Leonard, a question or comment? Sharon. We have Sharon ahead.
They can't do anything without.
I was just gonna mention that, when we talked about having a meeting in March, that would be more, appropriate to, our monies coming in. I don't see why that can't be a regular thing. The Constitution requires an annual, meeting, to report on the budget. That could still happen. That could still be a requirement of the Constitution. And at that time, we could then find out if our budget is being followed, if it's possible to follow that budget that we passed, because that's been our problem. We pass these budgets and we never get to hear if there's a need to change or modify these budgets. So we need to let our business people know that, hey, if you're gonna modify, if you're gonna need to change this budget, you need to come back to general counsel and to say, if it's more than, $5,000 that you change, you need to come back here and get an approval to modify that budget. Not just decide all of a sudden, oh, the heck with the proceeds of labor budget, we're gonna spend all this money on whatever. That's defeating our purpose of having these annual meetings or approvals, because they can do whatever they want. What's the point at this time? And that if we do pass the budget, that it needs to have the understanding with that approval that this has to happen, that we need to come back if there's any reason to modify that budget, because we expect that it be followed, or